Hello and welcome to another Bushwhacker review. Today we are going to be taking a look at Chase Elliott's Hooters Chevy for 2017. Let's take a quick look at the box here. It's your typical generic 2017 box with the added nice colors. Got Chase Elliott 24, picture Chase, action 25 years, Hendrick Motorsports. Chase Elliott, render the car, standard finish. They made a total of 1,824 of these things. 24 Chase Elliott, all that typical stuff you come to expect by now. Well, let's get to the car itself. And it is a fantastic looking paint scheme. This is really that kind of car that really just grew on me. Like, no, it will never be at the level of the classic Alan Quickie Hooters car. That is just an iconic classic, and you cannot beat that, and this is in no way even close to as awesome as that is. But this paint scheme still looks nice, and it did actually grow on me over the years. When I first saw this, they're like, not over the years, over the year. But when I first saw this, I was like, oh, what the hell is that? Why didn't they just use the classic paint scheme? Because, I mean, that would have looked better. But, you know, seeing this on track and otherwise, it did grow on me. I could do without the yellow numbers, but whatever. Let's do a quick 360 of this car. In the end, it's just really great to have Hooters back. Like, that is something that the Darlington Throwback Weekend is doing fantastically, is bringing classic NASCAR sponsors back into the sport. It brought Tide back, Hooters back. I think there's some more, but can't remember off the top of my head. But I mean, it's just like the fact that they're bringing these back and then they're actually sponsoring real cars with new paint schemes and everything is awesome. Like, you know, Tide came back with the throwback with Kenseth, and then the next year with Kenseth, they have the Tide Pods car. Hooters came back with Greg Biffle at Roush, and then for some reason went Chase Elliott, but whatever. Should just point out right away, but yep, this is exactly what the Hendrick cars are going to look like this year. Big old blank windshield banner, big old blank spot, and still has the name in the back windshield. Oh, Hendrick, why do you have to be such a little bitch about Pepsi and competitors and blah, 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 blah. I wish Monster would just be like, yeah, you're gonna put our shit in your cars whether you like it or not. I mean, they do that for the racing, or like the actual race, but I don't think they should be allowed to do that. Shouldn't be able to force inaccurate diecast because, oh, we have a competitor. I'm pretty sure the 5-Hour Energy Eric Jones car is gonna have a Monster on it, so whatever. But anyways, let's get down to sponsor. So let's on the hood, we got Hooters, picture the owl, Chevrolet SS number 24, Hendrick Motorsports. Down the side, you have Hooters, you got Napa Auto Parts, Sun Energy, Mountain Dew, got Kelly Blue Book and Valvoline on the C post, and on the B post you have Exalta, Bosch, Freightliner, Hooters, Mack Tools, and Siemens. On the back you have Hooters, politically incorrect since 1983, and if you can read this, you must really love Hooters. Very nice touch there. Got Valvoline 24 Chevrolet SS. On the deck we have Napa Auto Parts, and on the roof you have Hooters. Elliott's name in the back windshield, like I said before. This is number 1,180. You got the same stuff down the other side as usual. Let's take a look under the hood. Wants to open. See, it says Chevy, Napa Auto Parts, Mountain Dew, Kelly Blue Book, Hooters, and Wix filters. There's the engine detail if you want to see that. Take a look under the deck lid. You got your typical fuel cell and such back there. The roof flaps do in fact open. And there is the underside of the car if you want to see that. Another thing to point out is, notice that this doesn't have the rim detail. What I mean by that is, like, this year they added the yellow lug nuts and the little, like, rotational arrows on the rims. It was even on cars before Monster, like, back in, like, the first few cars that came out, like, even, like, some of the cars that came out really early without Monster, like, back in, like, February, they still had it. It was on the render for this car, but for some reason Lionel just kind of forgot about it. I'm not really quite sure why. But, you know, most people didn't even realize they updated that this year, so a lot of people probably didn't even realize there's an issue with that. That's just weird. They did update the A-Post logo. If you remember back on the, what was it, the Eric Amarola, they had, like, it had the updated NASCAR logo, but it was just the single NASCAR logo sitting there, where, you know, they updated that, but it was just the regular updated NASCAR logo in that regular silver race car logo. So not sure where that one even came from, but whatever. Also has the updated Coors Light Pole logo. Chase Elliott raced this at Talladega this year. That's why it has the black spoiler, which I don't know when, I think it'll run a second time, thanks later in the year. See if it still has the black spoiler then, but didn't fare too well in it. He got involved in the big one, though he was part of the start of the big one. I don't remember if he got turned. It was him and Allmendinger. Either Allmendinger turned him or he turned Allmendinger. But I just remember that it was this car that basically caused the big one at Talladega. So who doesn't love a big one? But like I said, hopefully they, you know, up their sponsorship a little bit, and hopefully Hooters comes back a little bit more. Because like I said, it is just an iconic sponsor. Who doesn't love the classic Alan Quickie Hooters car? So it's really good to see them back. One inaccuracy I should point out is on the real car, they ended up adding some outlines a little bit more. Like And this door number, there was actually a brown outline in between the orange and the yellow to kind of bold it out a little more. And on the roof, it was either fully in black or fully in brown. I can't remember which, but either way, there was just different outlines to make it stand out more. But like I said, I really wish they could get rid of the yellow numbers. This in no way looks like it makes sense. Like, yeah, I know Hendrick fans are all like, oh, we gotta have they're yellow numbers. But if they don't make sense, just don't use them. Using, like, one of those, like, Hooters brown numbers, like the 16 car would have been fine. Just a black number would have been fine. Just anything would have been better than bright neon yellow numbers. But Hendrick fans love it so much, so I guess they're going to keep using it. Because, you know, it's classical. But, you know, some cars it works with, some cars it doesn't. Like, back on the old Rainbow 24 car, looks perfect. This car, not so much. But whatever. Like I said, this is definitely an interesting diecast. This is a pretty popular diecast. This is kind of selling pretty fast. Oh, they made over 1,800 of them, so, you know, there's a bunch of them out there right now. If you really want one, grab one now, but it could disappear pretty quickly. Some people be like, oh, it's a high number, it's not going to ever disappear. Yeah, so did they say Dale Jr.'s 2017 nationwide insurance car, his standard primary this year. Yeah, that had about, I don't even remember the production number, but that had a big production number, and guess what? Go on eBay right now, look at that car. The lowest 124 is like 150. So you can never really judge a car based on its production number. Yes, if they make like 100,000 of them, like some of those older cars, no, that's not going to be ever rare. But just because they made 1,000 or 2,000 of them, that doesn't mean it's not going to be rare. Because if it's like one of these kind of overly popular cash cowy drivers, they're going to sell. This is actually the first time I ever picked up a Chase Elliott 24 car. Most of the paint schemes have been really abysmal. I just have not liked any of them. The closest I was going to do to buying one was the Sun Energy car last year. But then I was like, oh, we're not going to do the copper chrome rim, so I'm like, okay, screw that. Hopefully Hendrick kind of ups their designs a little bit. This one's decent, but it's still not great. I mean, it's nothing special. This looks like something I could throw together in NASCAR 15 in like a half hour, so yeah. Whatever. But still a nice looking car, and probably the best Hendrick 24 paint schemes so far in the last 2 years, so depending on what you think about what that's saying. But anyways, this has been a review of Chase Elliott's Hooters car from 2017. Hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.